Hey fam, get ready to have your minds blown because today we're diving deep into the island nation of Comoros. I'm talking crystal clear waters and lush landscapes, but hold up, there's more. We're going beyond the postcard perfect images to uncover 40 shocking truths about this island nation. We're about to get real, fam. From economic struggles to social inequalities, Comoros has a whole other side that needs our attention. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to drop some serious knowledge bombs. Get ready to have your perceptions challenged because things are about to get real interesting. You ready? Let's go! Okay, first up, let's talk about climate change, you guys. It's not just a trendy hashtag, it's a real threat, especially for island nations like Comoros. Imagine your home, your entire life, just meters away from the ocean, and that ocean is creeping closer every year. That's the reality for many Comorians. Rising sea levels are eating away at their coastlines, causing major erosion and flooding. We're talking homes, businesses, entire communities at risk. And it's not just about losing land, it's about losing livelihoods. Many people in Comoros rely on fishing and agriculture, which are directly impacted by the changing climate. The situation is dire, guys, and it's a stark reminder that climate change is a global issue that requires global action. We need to step up and demand change before it's too late. But hey, let's not get too down in the dumps. Comorians are resilient people, and they're already taking action to adapt and protect their beautiful islands. All right, fam, let's talk about education. It's the key to a brighter future, right? But in Comoros, the education system is facing some serious challenges. We're talking about a severe lack of funding, which means schools are overcrowded, understaffed, and lacking basic resources. Can you imagine trying to learn in a classroom with leaking roofs and not enough textbooks to go around? This lack of access to quality education is leading to high dropout rates, especially among girls. And that's a huge problem because education is essential for empowering individuals and breaking the cycle of poverty. It's like, how can we expect Comoros to thrive if its future generations aren't getting the education they deserve? It's time to invest in education, fam. We need to support initiatives that provide resources, train teachers, and make education accessible to all children in Comoros. Because every child deserves the chance to reach their full potential, no matter where they're born. Okay, picture this. Lush green hillsides covered in fragrant vanilla orchids. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, Comoros is one of the world's top vanilla producers, but this sweet smell comes with a bitter truth. You see, the vanilla industry is notoriously volatile. Prices fluctuate wildly, leaving farmers vulnerable to economic instability. One minute they're riding high on a good harvest, the next they're struggling to make ends meet. It's a classic case of putting all your eggs in one basket. Comoros relies heavily on vanilla exports, which makes its economy super vulnerable to global market trends and competition from other vanilla-producing countries. So, what's the solution? Well, diversifying the economy is key. Comoros needs to explore other industries and create more job opportunities so it's not solely dependent on this one fragrant crop. Because let's be real, relying solely on vanilla is like trying to build a house on a foundation of ice cream. It's just not sustainable. Chapter 4. Queens of the Castle? The power struggle of inheritance in Comoros. Hold up, because things are about to get interesting. In Comoros, they do things a little differently when it comes to inheritance. It's all about the ladies, baby. We're talking matrilineal inheritance, where property and wealth are passed down through the female line. Now, this might sound empowering, but in a society where men often hold the power, it can create some serious tension. Imagine being a man who's worked hard his whole life, only to have your inheritance go to your sister's children. It's a complex issue rooted in tradition and cultural norms. While matrilineal inheritance aims to ensure the well-being of women and their children, it can also lead to disputes and inequalities within families. It's a reminder that gender equality is an ongoing journey, even in societies with unique customs like this. Finding a balance between tradition and progress is crucial for creating a more just and equitable society for everyone. Chapter 5. Hidden Gem, or Hidden Headache. Why tourism in Comoros is a paradox. Okay, let's be real, Comoros has it all. Stunning beaches, turquoise waters, volcanic landscapes, exotic wildlife. It's like a dream destination. So why isn't it overrun with tourists? Well, here's the thing. Political instability, a lack of infrastructure, and limited international promotion have kept Comoros off the beaten path for many travelers. It's like having a hidden treasure chest, but not having the right key to unlock its full potential. Comoros needs to invest in tourism infrastructure, from better transportation to more accommodations. And let's not forget about spreading the word. This hidden gem deserves to shine, but it needs a little polish first. With the right investments and a sprinkle of marketing magic, Comoros could become a top tourist destination. Chapter 6. The High Cost of Paradise. Why life in Comoros can break the bank. Okay, let's talk money, honey. Living in paradise might sound idyllic, but it comes with a hefty price tag in Comoros. We're talking about a high cost of living, especially when it comes to basic necessities. Think about it. Comoros is an island nation, which means most goods have to be imported. And those import taxes? Yeah, they add up. From food to fuel to everyday essentials, everything seems to cost an arm and a leg. And for a country with a low-income economy, this creates a real struggle for many families. Imagine having to choose between paying rent or putting food on the table. That's the reality for many Comorians. Addressing the high cost of living is crucial for improving the lives of ordinary people. From idyllic beaches to challenging realities, we're diving deeper into a pressing issue: healthcare in Comoros. With limited healthcare resources, Comoros is vulnerable to outbreaks of diseases like malaria, dengue fever, and cholera. And when these diseases hit, they hit hard, especially in areas with poor sanitation and limited access to clean water. It's like fighting a losing battle when you don't have the proper weapons. Hospitals are often under-equipped, there's a shortage of qualified doctors, and many people struggle to afford even basic medical care. This lack of access to quality healthcare has a devastating impact on communities, hindering development and perpetuating poverty. Investing in healthcare is not just about treating diseases, it's about investing in the future of Comoros. Hold on to your hats, because we're about to navigate some choppy waters. Comoros might be a small nation, but it's got some big border disputes with its neighbors. We're talking about disagreements over fishing rights, territorial waters, and even the ownership of entire islands. These disputes create tension, instability, and sometimes even escalate into conflict. It's like a never-ending game of tug-of-war, with each country vying for control over valuable resources and strategic locations. Resolving these disputes peacefully is crucial for regional stability and cooperation. It's time to put down the metaphorical tug-of-war rope and come together to find solutions that benefit everyone. Okay, let's talk about something we don't always want to talk about: sanitation. And in Comoros, it's a serious issue that can't be ignored. We're talking about a lack of proper toilets, inadequate sewage systems, and limited access to clean water. And when these basic necessities are lacking, it creates a breeding ground for diseases and puts people's health at risk. Imagine not having a safe and hygienic place to go to the bathroom. It's a reality for many Comorians, and it's something that needs to change. Improving sanitation infrastructure is not just about aesthetics, it's about protecting public health and creating a healthier environment for everyone. Okay, fam, time for a reality check. Comoros is facing a mountain of debt, and it's putting a serious strain on its economy and its people. It's like being stuck in quicksand. The more you struggle, the deeper you sink. The interest payments alone are a huge burden, diverting funds away from essential services like healthcare, education, and infrastructure. This debt trap limits the country's ability to invest in its future and improve the lives of its citizens. It's time to break free from this vicious cycle. Finding sustainable solutions to manage and reduce this debt is crucial for Comoros to achieve true economic independence and create a brighter future for its people.
Chapter 1. Unequal Development. Island Drama, Realness. The Comoros Islands, a beautiful archipelago in the Indian Ocean, face unequal development. Grande Comore, the biggest island, gets most of the development funds, while Anjouan and Moheli often feel left out. This struggle for equality and recognition is at the heart of the island drama. Chapter 2. From farmland to fail land. Agriculture's downfall. So Comoros used to be like the ultimate farm-to-table destination. We're talking lush fields, bountiful harvests, the whole shebang. But hold up, because things took a turn. Imagine a farmer forgetting to water their crops. Yeah, that's kind of what happened here. Except it's the government that forgot to support their farmers. Add in some serious land erosion and you've got yourself an agricultural crisis. Not exactly the recipe for a delicious future, right? Chapter 3. secret deals and shady handshakes. The politics of Comoros. Welcome to the intricate and often bewildering world of Comorian politics. Imagine yourself as a sleuth, piecing together clues from the shadows, trying to make sense of a puzzle that seems to change shape with every new piece of information. Whispers in dark hallways, secret meetings, and deals being made that would make your head spin. The political landscape here is like a labyrinth, filled with twists and turns. Chapter 4. Exiled Leaders. One-way ticket. Outta here. Ever played a game of musical chairs where the loser gets banished from the playground? That's kind of what it's like for some former leaders in Comoros. We're talking presidents, high-ranking officials, the whole shebang. Get on the wrong side of the political game, and you might find yourself exiled, living out your days far, far away from the islands. It's like a real-life game of Survivor, but with higher stakes. Chapter 5. Parched Paradise. The Water Crisis. Okay, imagine this. You're on a tropical island surrounded by crystal clear water, but you can't take a sip. That's the reality for many in Comoros, especially on Grande Comore. It's like finding out your favorite swimming pool is filled with jelly, not so refreshing anymore. With limited freshwater sources, access to clean drinking water is a daily struggle. Talk about a buzzkill. Chapter 6. Religion and Rules, a controversial mix. Comoros is a predominantly Muslim country, and while that brings a lot of beauty and tradition, it also comes with some controversial laws. Think strict rules about alcohol, gender roles that might raise an eyebrow or two, and LGBTQ rights that are, well, let's just say, there's room for improvement. It's a complex issue, and one that sparks a lot of debate. Imagine a world where your grandma's rules have more power than the actual law. That's kind of how it is in some parts of Comoros. In rural areas, customary law, the kind passed down through generations, often trumps the official legal system. It's like trying to argue with your grandma about her famous apple pie recipe. You're not going to win. Remember that time your internet went down and you thought the world was ending? Well, in Comoros, limited internet access is a daily reality. It's like trying to binge watch your favorite show on a dial-up connection. Not gonna happen. This digital divide makes it tough for businesses to grow, students to learn, and people to connect with the rest of the world. Comoros has one of the highest birth rates in the region, which means lots and lots of adorable babies. But here's the thing. Imagine trying to throw a party with 1 million guests, but only enough snacks for 100. That's kind of what's happening in Comoros. This population boom puts a strain on resources, making it harder to provide education, healthcare, and all the essentials. Okay, last but not least, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, or should I say, the drugs on the high seas. Drug trafficking has been on the rise in Comoros, with reports of smuggling routes linking to East Africa. It's like someone snuck a whole bunch of uninvited guests into our Comoros party, and they're bringing all the wrong vibes.
First up, let's talk education. Education is the cornerstone of any society. But what happens when this cornerstone is shaky, or worse, almost non-existent? In places like Comoros, education is a luxury that many can't afford. The schools are in disrepair, the classrooms are empty, and the resources are scarce. Comoros has one of the lowest literacy rates in the entire region. Less than 70% of adults can read and write. Teachers are often undertrained and overworked, struggling to provide a meaningful education with minimal resources. Non-profit organizations and volunteers play a crucial role in bridging the gap. Imagine a future where every child in Comoros has the opportunity to learn in a well-equipped classroom. Let's make education a priority and give the children of Comoros the tools they need to build a better tomorrow. Okay, so you finished school. Congrats! You've put in the hard work, stayed up late studying, and finally walked across that stage to get your diploma. But what comes next? Time to get a job, right? You'd think that with a degree in hand, the world would be your oyster. But the reality is far from that ideal. Comoros has a massive unemployment crisis. The job market here is tough. It's not just about finding a job that matches your skills, it's about finding any job at all. Over 20% of people can't find work. It's a harsh reality that many young Comorians face every day. And it's forcing a lot of young people to make a tough choice. Stay and struggle, or pack their bags and try their luck somewhere else. Remember those young people leaving Comoros for a better life? Well, a lot of them are heading to a tiny island called Mayotte. Sounds nice, right? Except for one little detail. It's illegal. Yep, we're talking risky boat journeys, overcrowded vessels, and sadly, even fatalities. It's a desperate attempt to escape poverty and find opportunity, even if it means putting their lives on the line. Talk about a tough decision. Families are torn apart with loved ones left behind. hoping for a better future. Those who make it to Mayotte face new challenges, but also new opportunities. They work hard, study, and strive to build a new life despite the odds. And sometimes they succeed, finding joy and community in their new home. Chapter 4. Government or grift-earnment? Okay, time for some real talk about the government. Corruption is running rampant in Comoros, you guys. We're talking funds vanishing faster than my patience during a slow Wi-Fi day. Nepotism? Oh, it's thriving. It's like trying to get a job when the only qualification is being related to the boss. Not cool, Comoros, not cool. This mismanagement and shady business are holding the entire nation back from reaching its full potential. But there's hope. New initiatives are aiming to turn things around. With the right changes, Comoros can rise above these challenges and thrive. Chapter 5. Living on borrowed time and money. Comoros relies heavily on remittances, money sent back home from people living abroad. This isn't just a small part of their economy, it's a lifeline. Imagine if every month, a significant portion of your income came from a relative living in another country. These remittances are crucial for daily living expenses, education, healthcare, and even small business investments. A huge chunk of that money is coming from France. France has a large Comorian diaspora, and many of them send money back to their families regularly. This connection to France is a remnant of colonial times, but it has evolved into a vital economic link. Comoros is basically living paycheck to paycheck, except the paycheck is coming from another country. This dependency creates a fragile economic situation. If the flow of remittances were to stop or significantly decrease, the impact on Comoros would be devastating. Chapter 6. Lights out, the electricity struggle. Imagine this, you're just chilling, watching your favorite show when suddenly, bam, lights out. That's a daily reality for people in Comoros. The electricity grid is about as reliable as my ability to not spill coffee on myself. Spoiler alert, it happens a lot. And it's not just annoying, it's seriously messing with businesses and making everyday life a struggle. Can someone get these people some generators, please? The constant blackouts mean kids do homework by candlelight, families eat in the dark, and street vendors rely on flashlights. But there's hope. Solar power is starting to make a difference, lighting up homes and streets in Comoros. Chapter 7. Pirates of the Comoros. Okay, this one sounds like something straight out of a movie, but it's real life in Comoros. Remember Somalia and those scary pirate stories? Well, Comoros is right next door, which means they're facing similar threats. And it's not just about stolen treasure, it's affecting their fishing industry and freaking out international ships. Talk about a real-life game of Pirates of the Caribbean, minus Johnny Depp, sadly. The local fishermen are constantly on edge, and international navies are stepping up their patrols. It's a tense situation, but the people of Comoros are resilient and adapting to these challenges. Despite the threats, life goes on in this beautiful island nation, with hope for a safer future. Chapter 8. Where my ladies at, the fight for equality. Let's talk about women in Comoros, shall we? Or should I say the lack thereof? When it comes to politics, women are practically invisible. And it's not just politics. Cultural norms are keeping women on the sidelines in a lot of areas. It's like trying to join a boys' club, except the boys' club is running the entire country. Time to break down those barriers and let the women shine. Women in Comoros are making strides in education, business, and healthcare. They are mentoring the next generation, leading communities, and even making waves in technology. From sports to arts to science, Comorian women are proving they can excel in any field. Let's celebrate their achievements and support their fight for equality. Chapter 9. Healthcare? More like barely their care. Okay, let's talk healthcare, or should I say the lack thereof. Comoros is facing a major healthcare crisis. Hospitals are understaffed, medical equipment is about as outdated as my childhood wardrobe, and a lot of people are forced to travel to other countries just to get basic treatment. It's like trying to find a doctor in a ghost town. Comoros, it's time to invest in your people's health. The government needs to step up and address this urgent issue. With proper investment, Comoros can build a better healthcare system for everyone. Imagine a future where everyone has access to quality healthcare. Let's make it happen. Chapter 10. Silence is not golden, the protest problem. Last but not least, let's talk about freedom of speech, or should I say the lack thereof. Protests are rare in Comoros, and it's not because everyone's happy and singing Kumbaya. The government has put some serious restrictions on freedom of speech and assembly. It's like trying to voice your opinion in a library, where everyone's forced to be silent. Comoros, it's time to let your people speak their minds. Freedom of speech is a fundamental right, and it's high time Comoros embraced it. Let's hope for a future where every voice can be heard, loud and clear.
Picture this. You have 3 siblings, right? Imagine growing up together, sharing toys, and making memories. But then, something changes. Your parents decide to give all the good stuff to just one sibling. The best toys, the most attention, and even the biggest slice of cake. Not cool, right? It feels unfair and creates a lot of resentment. Well, that's kind of the vibe in Comoros. This beautiful archipelago in the Indian Ocean is facing a similar issue. You see, Grande Comore, the biggest island, is like that spoiled sibling getting all the love, aka development funds. It's bustling with activity, modern infrastructure, and opportunities. Meanwhile, the other islands, Anjouan and Moheli, are left feeling like they're stuck in the friend zone. They struggle with underdevelopment, lack of resources, and fewer opportunities. This uneven development has caused some major tension between the islands, kind of like when you try to share a pizza with your hangry friends. It's not pretty. Everyone wants their fair share, and when they don't get it, conflicts arise. And you know what they say, a house divided against itself probably just argues a lot and eats takeout. The same goes for these islands. The lack of unity and equal distribution of resources leads to constant friction. But seriously, this issue highlights the importance of equal opportunities and resources for all, no matter what island you call home. When everyone gets a fair chance, the whole community thrives. It's about coming together, collaborating, and ensuring that no one is left behind. Okay, get this. Comoros used to be like the Beyoncé of agriculture. Their fields were lush, green, and thriving, and the farmers were the rock stars of their community. Seriously, they were slaying the farming game. The markets were bustling with fresh produce, and the harvests were bountiful. It was a sight to behold. But then, plot twist, things took a turn for the, well, not so fertile. The once thriving fields became dry and barren, and the crops started to wilt. The farmers, who were once full of hope, now looked worried and defeated. Due to a combo of bad government decisions and land erosion, agriculture in Comoros is like that wilted houseplant you keep forgetting to water. The land became eroded, and deforestation only made things worse. The soil, once rich and fertile, became dry and cracked. It's just not looking good. The plants are wilted, the farmland is abandoned, and the crops are unhealthy. It's a sad sight. And this decline in agriculture is a major problem because it threatens the country's food security. With less food being produced, the shelves are empty, and people are struggling to find enough to eat. Malnutrition is becoming a serious issue. Imagine if you could only eat your least favorite food every day. Not ideal, right? That's the reality for many people in Comoros. The variety and quality of food have drastically decreased. This situation shows how important it is to protect and support local farmers and to invest in sustainable agricultural practices. Community farming initiatives and sustainable practices are crucial for turning things around. Otherwise, we're all in for a bumpy ride. The terrain is rocky and uneven, making farming conditions even more difficult. The farmers are struggling to work with the harsh land. And by bumpy ride, I mean potential food shortages. Eek. Long lines at food distribution centers and families struggling to find food could become the new normal if we don't take action now. Okay, time to put on our detective hats, people, because things are about to get mysterious. Rumor has it that some Comorian politicians have been caught up in some shady dealings with foreign nations, particularly France and the UAE. And I'm not talking about a casual coffee date here. We're talking behind closed doors, secret handshake kind of deals. The kind that make you go, something's fishy here. These alleged deals have sparked fears of external control over the Comorian government, which is never a good look. It's like letting your friend pick out your outfit for a big event. You never know what you're gonna get. This situation highlights the importance of transparency and accountability in government. Because let's be real, nobody likes a shady politician. Imagine being president one day and then, bam, you're exiled to a remote island with nothing but your thoughts and a lifetime supply of sunscreen. That's the reality for some former Comorian leaders. Political exile is not uncommon in Comoros, often due to coup involvement or conflicts with new governments. It's like a political game of musical chairs, but instead of losing your seat, you lose your country. This pattern of exile raises concerns about political stability and the peaceful transfer of power in Comoros. It's like trying to build a house on a foundation of jelly. Not exactly the most secure situation. You know that feeling when you're super thirsty and there's no water in sight? It's a discomfort that most of us can easily remedy by turning on a tap or grabbing a bottle of water. But imagine if that wasn't an option. Yeah, that's a daily struggle for many people in Comoros, especially on Grande Comore, which lacks major rivers. The island's geography makes it difficult to access fresh water sources, leaving its residents in a constant state of water insecurity. Access to clean, fresh water is a growing issue in this island nation. Many have to rely on small, often polluted sources, which poses significant health risks. Women and children are particularly affected, as they are usually the ones tasked with fetching water. Imagine having to walk miles just to get a bucket of water, and even then, it might not be safe to drink. This daily trek consumes valuable time and energy that could be spent on education, work, or other productive activities. This water scarcity poses a serious threat to public health and sanitation. Contaminated water sources lead to waterborne diseases, which strain the already limited healthcare facilities in the region. It's like trying to run a marathon with a leaky water bottle. You're not going to get very far. The constant struggle to secure water leaves little room for progress and development. This situation highlights the urgent need for investment in water infrastructure and sustainable water management practices. Building reliable water systems and educating communities on water conservation can make a world of difference. Because without water, life as we know it would be, well, pretty much impossible. Water is not just a necessity, it's the foundation of health, prosperity, and overall well-being. Addressing this crisis is crucial for the future of Comoros. Comoros is a predominantly Muslim country, and its religious conservatism influences many of its laws. We're talking about laws concerning alcohol, gender roles, and LGBTQ rights. While some people support these laws, others argue that they infringe on individual freedoms and discriminate against certain groups. It's like trying to fit everyone into the same box, even though we're all shaped differently. This situation raises important questions about the balance between religious freedom and individual rights. It's a complex issue with no easy answers, but it's definitely something to think about. Ever heard the phrase, when in Rome, do as the Romans do? Well, in Comoros, it's more like, when in rural areas, do as the elders say. In many rural communities, customary laws, passed down through generations, often trump the official legal system. Think of it like having two referees for one game. Things can get confusing pretty quickly. This clash of legal systems can lead to inconsistencies in how justice is served. It's like trying to bake a cake with two different recipes. You never know how it's going to turn out. This situation highlights the challenges of balancing traditional practices with modern legal frameworks. It's a delicate dance, but finding a way to bridge the gap is crucial for ensuring fairness and equality for all. Imagine a world without Google, social media, or even online cat videos. That's the reality for many people in Comoros, where internet access is limited and expensive. This digital divide hinders access to information, education, and economic opportunities. It's like trying to compete in a race with one shoe untied. You're already at a disadvantage. This situation highlights the importance of investing in digital infrastructure and making internet access more affordable and accessible to all. Because in today's world, being offline is like being left out of the conversation. Comoros has one of the highest birth rates in the world, which sounds like a recipe for a future full of adorable babies. However, this population boom puts a strain on the country's limited resources, especially in areas like education and healthcare. It's like trying to fit a whole classroom of kids into a clown car. It's crowded, chaotic, and someone's probably going to get a little squished. This situation highlights the challenges of balancing population growth with sustainable development. It's about finding a way to ensure that everyone has access to the resources they need to thrive, both now and in the future. From crystal clear waters to lush rainforests, Comoros seems like paradise. But even paradise has its dark side. In recent years, the country has seen a rise in drug trafficking, with links to East Africa. It's like finding a spider in a perfectly ripe mango. It's unexpected, unwelcome, and kinda ruins the whole experience. This illegal trade brings with it a host of problems, including increased crime rates and drug addiction. It's a reminder that even in the most beautiful places, danger can lurk beneath the surface. This situation highlights the importance of strengthening law enforcement, addressing the root causes of drug trafficking, and providing support for those struggling with addiction. It's about protecting the beauty of paradise and the well-being of its people. Well, there you have it, folks. 10 shocking facts about Comoros that probably made your jaw drop a few times. Who knew such a seemingly small nation could hold so much complexity and intrigue? From political dramas and economic struggles to cultural clashes and environmental concerns, Comoros is a country grappling with some serious issues. But amidst these challenges, the resilience and spirit of its people shine through. So, the next time you see Comoros on a map, don't just gloss over it. Remember the stories we've uncovered, the challenges they face, and the hope that remains for a brighter future. Because every nation, no matter how small, has a story to tell, and it's up to us to listen.